We have three different bureaus here: operations, admin, and we also have CID, which is our criminal investigation division. So all of them had different milestones and goals that we wanted to achieve and that we did achieve, and we had some things that were unexpected. First, I'd be remiss if I didn't start by saying that we ended the year of 2022 and began the year of 2023 with the tragic loss of a hero and Corporal Ray Hamilton in a horrific tragic event that we had. Thankfully, the State Attorney's Office was able to render a grand jury an indictment on murder on his suspect. A short time later, we had the unexpected loss of a veteran SRO and a beloved deputy, the longtime Deputy Cullen Corain here, that we had to, we're just on trying to recover from Ray's loss when we lost Cullen unexpectedly. So I would be remiss not to mention the tragic things that we had to begin the year with. The first thing that we did as far as in the community that should be noted is early in the year of 2023, we did something called the Fins and Pins. Every year we like to do a different fundraiser for the Florida Youth Ranch, but the Fins and Pins was a fish fry and bowling event, and a lot of the community came out to try and help support that event. Another thing on the operations side was Canine Beal, who's a veteran canine officer with us, and his dog Sky, who is a bomb dog, bomb detection dog. They're basically assigned to the airport but utilized all over the county, different needs, schools and so forth. They've actually augmented and helped in federal cases and different businesses where there's been potential bomb threats. But they were received a top 10 nationwide award, which is very prestigious for this dog and for our handler and for as well as our agency. October each year we do something called Faith in Blue. It's something that started in 2020. It is where faith-based organizations try and reconnect through community policing and doing some sort of event that is in the first weekend of October. And this year we did something that we created called the Leo 23. It was a law enforcement experience where we brought in not only the faith-based organizations, but other businesses and leaders in our community, as well as students. And we gave them immersion of the Sheriff's Office and gave them a little bit of taste of all the different facets of the Sheriff's Office. And then we concluded with another event up at our training center, and that event gave them certificates of completion of our event. So it was a great, successful event. And then the last thing on the operations side I'd like to say is that we've been in the Sheriff's Office for 108 years, and there are thousands and thousands. I would guess maybe 25,000 deputies in the state of Florida, but certainly a ton of deputies, and every year respective agencies submit a Deputy of the Year, and we've never, to my knowledge, had a Deputy of the Year, but we did not get one this year. However, it is just as honorable that we have Ezekiel Dixon, our deputy, that was nominated, and he actually was selected as runner-up. So I just want to be able to mention that, because out of all the heroic acts and all the different things that deputies do across this great state to try and keep our public safe, to be able to have a deputy recognized at that level is just a tremendous honor for our agency. On the CID side, which is our criminal investigation division, one of the biggest highlights was towards the middle part of the year, we were able to solve a cold case. There's a serial killer, aka Happy Face Killer, which is Keith Hunter Jesperson, that is locked up in the Northwest, and we were able to, through Familia DNA, using a company called Othram, we were able to finally match our victim, Susan Schellenberg, from a 1994 cold case where she was killed and basically thrown on the side of the interstate in one of our rest areas in the northwestern part of our county. But that was great to be able to finally bring justice to the family. And then we did a contractor sting. It's something that is, might be benign to some people, but it's actually a huge problem, is having uncontracted or unlicensed contractors working at your home. So we did a sting, and that resulted in 6 arrests in early part of February of 23. We did nearly 350 search warrants in a year. That is a huge undertaking with resources to include our SRT, our investigations, and now those search warrants are divided up within CID upon our drug task force. Also our ICAC, which is Internet Crimes Against Children, has grown so much, and we've done so many search warrants, and these include phones, downloads on computers, but actual residential search warrants as well. And those search warrants resulted in a lot of seizures. We had 20 pounds of methamphetamines, 13 pounds of fentanyl. We had 500 grams of pressed fentanyl pills. We seized $250,000 of U.S. currency in multiple different narcotics cases. And then we seized $400,000 in motor vehicles that were used during the commission of these crimes. And we also conducted what we call a undercover traveler operation for trying to catch the evil people that want to prey on our children. And we were able to make 7 arrests in just one of our stings that we had, where people tried to travel here to meet what they believed to be was a child for the purposes of sex, and we were able to arrest them. And then we had multiple arrests that ended up following from that, from some of these search warrants that I mentioned. One of the highlights that we did was we actually purchased a dog, electronic surveillance dogs, what they're called. I first saw this when in 2019 when I came back from the FBI Academy. And I had a friend of mine here from the Philadelphia Police Department, and she works with their ICAC, and she said they had a dog that was able to sniff electronic devices, whether it be a phone, an SD card, all sorts of different things that dog is able to smell that might be hidden in a place or concealed in a place that human is not going to obviously smell it, but even finding it's very difficult. But the dogs have been instrumental. They have actually found SD cards in kitty litter boxes and in toilets. And so this dog, we are very excited to be able to get a rescue dog and be able to put this dog to use and not only provide a great home for the dog, but also be able to provide a great resource for our community. The Angel Tree is something that we pride ourselves in. Our SRO program is probably our largest community policing endeavor that we have in the Sheriff's Office. Bar none, they do community policing on a day-to-day basis, mentoring youth and trying to be a role model and also giving them good guidance on how to make good life choices. But on top of that, at December, Christmas time, there are thousands of kids in this community, in this county, that suffer, that some are living in cars. And when you see what these kids ask for, when they're asking for the essentials, a toothbrush, bedding, bed sheets, just behind you right here, you can't see it, but I sponsored 3 kids myself, and I get more thrill out of sponsoring those kids than I do my own. My kids are spoiled year round, and for me to be able to spoil a needy child gives me the greatest honor. But we sponsored 275 children. What started with about 31 year has grown to 275 kids that are recognized. Our SROs, we rely on our SROs to tell us what kids are the most needy in their particular schools, and then we take on those children and we sponsor them. And we've had plenty of people in our community that have actually know about our program, have donated multiple different toys and things like that for kids, and we're able to kind of divvy those toys out as well for these kids. So we're going to be able to provide a great Christmas for 275 kids that would otherwise not have it. Lastly, the Real-Time Crime Center is something that we actually kicked off in latter November of 2022, so we're on 1 year of having this. It's absolutely been instrumental in tying all of our technology together. Real-Time Crime Center is basically up in our investigations division, and it's overseen or basically manned by our analysts, and our analysts not only do stuff on the day-to-day on the analyst side, but they also manage the Real-Time Crime Center to tie in the technology, whether it's Flock, where we've been able to find homicide suspects and other criminals based on this, and also people that might be lost or in need. We're able to pull up cameras, and we've had local businesses that have bought into our Real-Time Crime Center, and they've purchased different cameras in their particular areas, whether it be Holiday Isle or different places where we may have people trying to prey on those, whether it's white collar crime or burglaries or whatever, and we're able to basically solve crimes that we wouldn't otherwise be able to solve. So that basically ends our criminal investigation division highlights. And then lastly, I'm going to highlight our admin. We presented a revived RMS or CAD system, and what it was we went to the surtax committee to request the funds because we felt like this was a good use of our surtax money. We were in bad need of a new CAD system, a RMS system, because we just needed to upgrade that. We've had the same one for nearly 25 years. We were able to basically now tie all these systems together, the clerk of courts, the jail, as well as, and it also streamlines the process for the deputies and gets them back out on the road. That's an important part of this RMS system, is to be able to not bog us down with the paperwork that has to go to the court once an arrest is made. This is going to streamline that significantly. Training center, I want to talk about the training center for a second. It's something that was also purchased through half-cent sales tax. That training center has been absolutely proven to be one of the best resources in not just the county, but obviously the region. There are state, municipal, even federal, even military that gets to utilize that training facility. And if you've ever been up there, it's constantly ongoing. There's training being performed. When you go out there, it looks like a concert's going to be held out there because there's cars in the parking lot. We've had to expand our parking lot just to accommodate the number of people. We have upstairs training, downstairs training, not even including the gun range portion of the, or the Milo, or any of the great different resources we have at this training facility. But you can go out there any given day and there's going to be different people benefiting from this. And I should add that in just the first year, we were able to track over $88,000 that came back into our local community from per diem, people purchasing hotel rooms, just local community benefit from this training, and that has grown. I don't know what the number is right now, but it's significantly more than that on the year-to-year basis. So it's proven to be a win-win, and we couldn't be prouder for that training center. Our cadet program is something that I envisioned and we created upon, and thankfully the Board of County Commissions supported it. And right now we have a 100% pass rate. This past year we had 22 different cadets roll through. It's an overlapping program where we usually fund roughly about 10 people at a time to go into the academy, and we've had a 100% pass rate this past year with 22 becoming deputies. So we basically hired 22 new deputies based on this cadet program, and it's been one of the most successful programs we've ever had at the Sheriff's Office. We were reaccredited this year through our communications, our dispatch. That's something we're really proud about. We, there's accreditation in most universities and agencies, governmental agencies, and we have different accreditation from our communications side or even just the operations side. But to be able to get reaccredited shows that we are doing it the right way, and we are following our policies, and that we're using the best practices. So, but I also want to thank the Board of County Commission and take this opportunity to tell them that thank you for their support and funding our remodel. We were reaccredited all while doing a complete remodel of our dispatch center, which was also in well need of some upgrades, and to make that room a much more enjoyable place to work, and with modern equipment, and with the radio system and everything coming, the dispatch personnel there, it has really helped our retention there. We've gone from having an average of 12 vacancies in dispatch, we're down to 3 or 4, and that's greatly because of having a good work environment. So I want to thank the Board of County Commission there. Further down the road, in the next couple of years, we hope to have, well, in this year we're looking at trying to have our driving pad. We've been so reliant on the college for a long time. Now the college has their CDLs and their semi-truck educational programs out there that a lot of times we're not able to use the driving pad, and the county is looking at trying to find resources and funding for us to be able to get a driving pad out at our training facility. We need that in a time where we're on the road and bad guys like to run from us, and a lot of times it causes damage to our vehicles, not to mention the congested, we're out there driving day to day, 12 hours a day, our patrol are driving a car, sometimes 14 hours a day. It's inevitable accidents are going to happen. Sometimes there are human error on our part, and sometimes there are weather conditions or otherwise. So we need to be able to have the best driving practices to keep our staff safe and to keep the public safe, and especially in high violent incidents where we may have to escalate our response to emergency. So we want to make sure that our officers are safely trained, and so we need a good driving pad. We have the best public support of any place in the country. There is no better place to be a law enforcement officer than right here in Northwest Florida, and we just thank the public for their continued support, and we will continue to protect you and protect your families, and it's an honor to serve as your public safety leader here in Okaloosa County.